It's so good. Praise the Most High God every day with your whole heart desire. Lift him high, lift him high. Holy, 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 yeah. Holy Mount Zion. Good job, let's sing. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. Make me down to lie in pastures green, that leadeth me the quiet waters by. My soul hath restored again, and me to walk thou snake within the path of righteousness, even for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk in death's dark vale, his will I fear no ill. Thy rod and staff, they are with me, they surely comfort still. My table, Lord, has furnished in the presence of my foes. My head, though half anointed with oil, my carpet overflow. Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me. And in just cause forevermore my dwelling place must be. Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me. And in just cause
General Secretary Thomas,
my dwelling
Inspector
place.
Partner, Director Nigel Murphy, the members, General Secretary of the United District Constables Association, Marjorie Fife, and other members of her executives, colleagues of St. Andrew South Division, members of the community who stand in solidarity with us, good night. The Police Federation is deeply saddened by the passing of our colleague. We are encouraged by the stridency of my colleague in representation and your commanding officer, who I know means every bit of his commitment to you, that those persons responsible for the killing of our colleagues will be brought to books. Certainly, my utterances over the media over the last few days has garnered a significant interest and significant comments from members within the society. Certainly, I saw on the weekend where the article published in the Observer where I called for capital punishment for a capital crime, and a number of citizens of Jamaica took me to task to say that, what about innocent children, women, and other vulnerable groups? And I said, I represent police officers. And they retort that as the chairman of the Police Federation, I represent the entire country. You know, certainly, I'm elected to represent rank and file members of the police force. But what I want the people of Jamaica to know is that a call for one thing does not mean a call against everything else. We are calling for strong action against people who assault police officers, who shoot after them, who kill them. And we believe that, you know, I certainly am not a proponent of the death penalty, and I believe that death is not a deterrent to criminals in this country, because certainly you, our brave colleagues who work in St. Andrew South, knows that the criminals that live and operate within this space are celebrated more in death than when they are living. And therefore, they do not mind dying one bit. What I know they're afraid of is lengthy detention. where they are denied access to the normal and usual amenities. And what we as a federation has called for is that once you have assaulted, shoot after, killed police officers and you manage to escape, when you're caught, you should ensure, or you should be guaranteed that there will be mandatory sentence upward of 40 years in prison. Without a doubt. However, and I make haste to make the point, that majority of the person who engage police officers in fatal confrontation normally don't survive, and therefore the issue of detention in prison does not arise. And we make no qualms about it, and we are unapologetic in our pronouncement that if you point a weapon at a police officer, you will be killed. There's just no two way about it. Superior training and superior knowledge in tactical and firearm use and handling to become victorious in that situation. Unfortunately, tonight we are paying tribute to two men who not only lived, they served. Forster is the brother of one of my probationers at the National Intelligence Bureau. Francis and myself attended the Carteret College, not together, as I'm a man of superior years, but I wear my purple tie this evening, which is indicative of the fact that we both are men that pride ourselves on being men of purple. And it hurt me deeply beyond the fact that we are serving colleagues within the organization, but because we also share the same alma mater and the same parish. You know, I am from deep rural Manchester in a community called Porous. And every time a police officer is killed, the only difference between that police officer and any one of us is because they were at that particular location at that time. Every time we have to deal with the trauma associated with the killing of an officer, you know, our families mourn as if it was us. And certainly in those wee hours of the morning when my mother in Manchester heard that a police officer was shot and injured, my phone was ringing because everybody was wondering who it was and if I was okay. And that is what we all have in common as police officers. Once one of us is killed, it means that perhaps the next time it will be one of us. Our advocacy at Police Federation is to ensure that when it's our time, the level of nonchalance in this country towards the killing of police officers does not exist. And that's why every opportunity we get, every colleague that is killed, every colleagues who are injured, we use every opportunity to send the strongest message. Right? As a police officer, our duty is easy. Be honest in our dealings and be professional in our conduct. Once we are able to achieve that, you know, we will become a force that the Jamaican people can respect. We will become a force that the Jamaican people can celebrate and pay tribute to. We call on the entire Jamaican people to stand with your police in this fight against crime and violence. Crime and violence is not a police-only issue. It is a Jamaica issue. In fact, it is much safer to be a police officer in Jamaica than a civilian. And therefore, civilians should be much more concerned about the state of our country in respect to crime and violence. Colleagues, we ask you to not let our colleagues' memories die. We ask you to ensure that their memories will live on. The Police Federation was founded in 1944, and for most of those years, the Police Federation called for a monument to be erected in the National Heroes Park in honor of police officers. As chairman, it is certainly my privilege to have achieved that kind of commitment from government during this time. And the government of Jamaica has already committed on cabinet approval to erecting that monument in the National Heroes Park, where the parents and friends and colleagues of our colleagues who are fallen can go to the National Heroes Park, lay a wreath and picnic in memory of them. We have a lot more call to make, and we will not remain silent, because this is a time when our voice is needed the most. We ask you, colleagues, to let us stand together. If no other time in our history, in our 150 odd years as a JCF member, it is time for us to stand together, to be our brother's keeper, to be united in this fight. There is an attack against the police, and we must recognize that, and the only way to repel that attack is if, as a police force, we are united at core. I thank you for participating in this evening's floral tribute to our colleagues. Certainly, as a police federation, we will insist that, notwithstanding COVID protocols, our colleagues get a funeral that is befitting men who have given their life in service to this country. And we will be monitoring that closely. And we have the commitment from chaplaincy that we are on one accord on this issue. If it's even to go one a day to record our tributes and put it together and stream it as one funeral. But we will ensure that our colleagues are not buried in a way that their memories and their service is not honored. Thank you, colleagues. It's certainly a pleasure being with you.
Them run towards the danger just to save a life, or it would be a different story. So I send appreciation to them worldwide. Their honor is much higher than for some heroes. Sacrifice them life to save a stranger. They are such a blessing to humanity.
They're on the front line, fighting against the stream, while many out the road die.